Hi, welcome once again to M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay. Well, let's learn English together. And welcome to the studio, people. How do you feel today? Are you full of that Friday feeling? Yes? Good. You should be. It's Friday after all. Now, who remembers what we've been studying this week? That's right, chickens, monkeys, octopuses and gnu's. This week, we've been looking at prepositions. Correct. So, it's Friday. It's the end of another week. And so it's time for us to look back on the week and to make sure that we remember all of the important stuff that we learned. So, if you're all ready, then we'll begin. Are you all ready? Yes? Okay then. Let's begin at the beginning. Let's start at the start. No, I can't think of another pair of synonyms. So let's just start, shall we? Yes. Okay, so here we go. We're going to dive in once again into the deep, deep waters of prepositions and look back at what we've learned this week. Okay, so we know that we've got three main prepositions of time: in, on, and at. And on Monday, we saw something to help us remember. Do you remember? We learned a new word, the verb to invert, and the adjective inverted, which comes from the verb. To invert means to turn upside down. Think, for example, of the famous 1970s dessert, upside down pineapple cake. Now, when I was a kid in the 1970s, I hated this cake. I don't like pineapple. But when we look at the cake, you can see why it's called upside down cake. The pineapple slices are at the top of the cake, but when you bake the cake, the pineapple slices go on the bottom. They're heavier than the rest of the cake. Okay, so what happens is this. When the cake is finished, you take it out of the oven and it looks, well, it looks very boring, like this. So, it just looks like a sponge cake. Boring. So what do? That's right, we invert the cake. We turn it upside down and then we see all the pineapple slices and the cake looks much more interesting. So, that's the verb to invert, to turn something upside down. And on Monday, we saw an inverted triangle, a triangle which was upside down. Okay, so using the inverted triangle, we can see how different prepositions of time move from larger times, more general periods of time, to smaller period of time, to more specific times. In is the most general. We use in when we're talking about centuries, decades, years, seasons, and months. All of these are big, general periods of time, aren't they? I was born in the 20th century, in the 1970s, in 1970, in the autumn, in November. After that, if we want to be more specific, then we can use on, which we use to talk about things that happen in smaller periods of time, like days and dates. I was born on the 23rd of November. I was born on a Monday. Then, if we want to be more specific, we use the preposition at. We use at to talk about the smallest periods of time, clock times. I was born at 10:30 in the morning. The ambulance arrived at our flat at 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so what about the exceptions to the rule? What about things which don't follow the rules? Well, with religious festivals like Easter and Christmas, we always use at. Where will you be at Christmas? What are you doing at Easter? Now, we have to be careful with religious festivals, because when we're talking about the festival in general, then we use at. But when we're talking about a particular day in the festival, like Good Friday, or Easter Sunday, or Easter Monday, or Christmas Eve, or Christmas Day, or Boxing Day, then we use the preposition on, because we use on when we're talking about days. At Easter, but on Good Friday, on Easter Sunday, and on Easter Monday. At Christmas, but on Christmas Eve, the 24th of December, on Christmas Day, the 25th of December, and on Boxing Day, the 26th of December. We also use the preposition at when we use the phrase at the beginning or at the end. At the beginning of the summer, my skin was completely white. But at the end of the summer, I was nice and tanned. My skin was brown. Our company always gets lots of work at the start of the year. And we use the preposition at with the phrase at the moment, which is a synonym for now. Are you busy at the moment? We say in the morning, but on Monday morning. In the afternoon, but on Tuesday afternoon. In the evening, but on Thursday evening. And remember, we always say at night. In the morning, but on Monday morning. In the afternoon, but on Tuesday afternoon. In the evening, but on Thursday evening. And at night. Also, we have to remember that we don't use at, on, or in before these words. This, last, next, and every. Are you going to the pub this evening? Our holiday was fantastic last summer. I'm not working next Monday. And finally, we use in when we're talking about time from now. I'll see you in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now. The train arrives in 1 hour. 1 hour from now. We're going on holiday. We'll be back in a few days. A few days from now. Great! And now, there's someone here who wants to talk to you. Yes! Enid's here, and she's got a story to tell you. Enid, are you ready? Well, come on in then. Well, hello people! Hello, hello! It's me again, Enid! Now, the last time I spoke to you, I was talking about sport, wasn't I? Yes, that's right. I was telling you about what I was learning about football. Well, we all know that the referee, the person dressed in black, tosses a coin before the start of the match. The two captains have to guess if the coin will show heads or tails. The captain who guesses correctly decides which end of the football pitch his team will start from. Then the goalkeeper, the person who stands nearest the goal, moves to the goal at that end, and all the other players move to that side of the center line. The team whose captain guessed correctly get an advantage. They start the game. They have the ball. They have possession of the football. They kick off. After the kick-off, things go a bit mad. Everyone starts running around the football pitch trying to get control of the ball. The word that they all use is the verb to pass. To pass means to kick the ball to another player on your team.
the players pass the ball to each other, trying to move the ball closer and closer to the other team's goal. When the players pass the ball, they normally use the side of their foot. They use the side of their foot to pass the ball so that the ball doesn't move too quickly. When they get close enough to the goal, the players try to kick the ball into the goal. They try to score a goal. When the players try to score a goal, we use a different verb. This time we use the verb to shoot. The players fire the ball at the goal, trying to kick the ball so the goalkeeper can't stop the ball. When a player passes the ball, it's not very powerful. But when a player shoots, it's very powerful. They want to make sure that the ball moves faster than the goalkeeper. If the ball goes into the goal and goes over the goal line, then it's a goal! The team who score the goal are very happy. Normally they jump on top of each other. After one team scores a goal, everyone goes back into their own half of the pitch. And the other team, the team that didn't score the goal, they kick off. The team who scored the goal don't have the advantage now. The other team get to kick off. Okay, now what else is there? What else did I learn? Well, the sport is called football, and most of the sport is about using your foot to kick the ball. Only the goalkeeper is allowed to use their hands. If anyone else touches the ball with their hand or arm, then the referee blows his whistle and the other team gets a free kick. When a team gets a free kick, they have the chance to move the ball closer to the goal. Sometimes a team will get a free kick very near the goal. Then they try to score from a free kick. The players on the other team try to stop the ball with their bodies. They form a wall to make it harder for the person kicking the ball to score a goal. The goalkeeper tries to stop the ball crossing the goal line. The goalkeeper can use his whole body, but goalkeepers like to use their hands to stop or catch the ball. Now, it's called football, and only the goalkeepers or goalies are allowed to touch the ball with their hands. But the players can use other parts of their bodies to touch the ball, just not their hands. They can use their knees to knee the ball, and sometimes they use their chests to control the ball. Sometimes the players use their heads to control the ball. They can pass the ball using their heads, and they can score goals using their heads. And oh, it's so very complex. And all the time, people are running about like headless chickens, passing, shooting, heading, running. Oh dear, I think I need to lie down. I'm tired from talking about it all. That's all I can tell you for today. I'm off home for a rest. Toodaloo, pip-pip, chitty-bye.
Oh, and she's gone. Quite slowly. She must be very tired. Poor Enid. She's tired from telling you all about sport. What's going to happen when she starts doing sports? Okay, well, we've come to the end of the lesson. So I'm going to follow Enid's example and head off home. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson as much as I did. Remember to have fun. It's the weekend after all, and I'll see you all next week. Check out the website if you need some more English, m5tv.hu. That's where you'll find all of our lessons and all of our vocabulary too. Okay, see you all later. Have fun. Bye.